Well, good morning. I'm Suzanne Fuentes, the mayor, and it's my pleasure to welcome you this morning to this exciting event. First, I would like to introduce some of the dignitaries we have in the audience. Council Member Mike Dugan, Council Member Carol Perstuk, School Board Member Emily Lane, and former Council Member Dave Atkinson. Also, we have members of Parks and Rec and Public Works here, and representatives from Anderson, Penna, and businesses. So this vision began years ago when City Council recognized Richmond Street was in need of some serious attention. We all loved our ficus trees, which adorn these 3 blocks, and the character they gave us on this street, but unfortunately, they had outgrown the space available for them. Consequently, they caused significant infrastructure damage. You may remember the uneven sidewalks and the buckling that had become a part of the landscape around us. Approximately 2 years ago, the City Council was presented with several street reconfiguration options to address the damage caused by trees and also improve the parking, a byproduct of the success of our downtown business area. Ultimately, we decided on a design to improve sidewalks, lighting, landscaping, and parking while still allowing two-way traffic. While we know that the landscaping will take time to mature and Richmond Street will continue to undergo a transformation, we are certain the improvements made today are having a positive effect already. Look around. The sidewalks are safer today than any time in the last 2 decades. Simply put, the tripping hazards are gone. ADA access for visitors and customers who need it are improved. Strollers are more easily navigated on the sidewalks and streets too. Business loading zones are strategically placed in the 100 and 200 blocks. Old Town Music Hall has a larger staging area for its moviegoers to use during intermission. The landscaping palette includes trees and shrubbery, which will be used more prominently throughout the city in parkways and medians because their root systems are friendlier to our infrastructure and confined spaces. And the increase in parking is already being enjoyed by those coming to dine and shop in our downtown area. This is a great infrastructure improvement project whose benefits we'll be able to enjoy for a long time. Doesn't it look great? I'd like to thank my colleagues and council members, City Manager Greg Carpenter, our city staff, the community, design team, and contractors for all their support and effort towards making Richmond Street Improvement Project such a success. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to our City Manager, Greg Carpenter.
Thank you, Suzanne. So this is a great day to be city manager, right? It's great to see projects finished. We start a lot of projects, but they often take a long time. Obviously, they take a team effort, and that's what we're celebrating here today, is the team effort it took to get to this point. Just as an aside, I have a picture of Richmond Street from 1920 hanging in my office, and it has angled parking and decorative pedestrian lights. And it's just interesting how things come around full circle. Richmond Street's got a very important place in the city's history. Was our first commercial street, and the city prides itself on being business friendly and being a place to do business, and it really all started right here and at the Standard Oil refinery down the street. Again, this was a team effort. That's the only way things get done in cities, is for everyone to come together with a shared vision. Remember, we started that with community meetings, with the trial project, remember that, the temporary the striped parking on the street, getting people's feedback, and then landing on a design with the design team. Probably the people that deserve the most thanks for this are the community and the business owners on this street. Construction's messy, it's noisy, it was disruptive, we knew that, but really nowhere in El Segundo could we have pulled this off with, I think, the ease and simplicity and cooperation that we saw with our businesses here. So we're glad it's done. I'm sure the businesses are as well. From the staff perspective, this was an all-out effort with my office, planning and building, rec and parks, and particularly public works involved in this effort. And thank you guys that are sitting back there, building maintenance, streets, sewer, water, engineering. You guys did a great job of pulling this off. There were surprises every day that we had to adjust for and deal with. Stephanie, thank you very much. From the bottom of my heart, we're going to miss you. Stephanie's leaving us to move down south, but this was her baby for a while, and she had other partners as well. On the engineering side, Floriza Rivera, Nick Petrevsky, and Orlando Rodriguez. Thank you guys for pulling this off. On the consultant side, we had very good partners. Anderson Pena on the design and the public outreach and community meetings. Solly Miller and their subs who did the work and addressed all of our day-to-day issues and concerns and questions. And then finally, our utility partners, Southern California's Edison and AT&T. Thank you very much. Folks, this is a good day for us, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Matt Stepien from Anderson Pena. And as Matt comes up, he was with us from the beginning, answering all of our questions. There's a lot more than what you see in a street, right? There's a lot of things under the street, a lot of coordination that had to be done, and this gentleman and his team pulled it off for us. Here you go, Matt.
Morning. It's a beautiful day out here. I'm just off of vacation. Brought some rain back with me from Portland, but it's yeah. The first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to congratulate the city on selecting the best consulting engineering firm for this project. So congratulations for that. But really, I wanted to congratulate the city on a successful project that involved many city staff, we had council people involved, we had residents, and we had business owners. It all started off with a series of public meetings and subcommittee meetings where we got a lot of nice feedback and input from the residents and the business owners. We had council involvement from the beginning with council members Atkinson and Jacobson. We had leadership from Stephanie, the Director of Public Works, and Greg, City Manager. We had good support from Orlando, Nick, and Floriza in engineering. We had a great Anderson Pena team. We had a good contractor in Solly Miller, and we had good construction support and inspection from Anderson Pena, led by Al and Waleed. When I first saw the project, first of all, you realize that it's a high visibility project. You realize that it's an important project for the city and that it was going to be a challenging project. However, when the survey data started to roll in, that's when I realized not only was it a challenging project, but one of the most challenging projects I've been involved with in my 30 years in the business. We had significant constraints. We had buildings up against the right-of-way all over the place. We had to fit in the angled parking with the longitudinal parking with the 2 lanes, make it all safe. We had to narrow the parkway down, make it ADA compliant. And all these businesses with their doors up against the right-of-way really gave us a lot of constraints. But I think as we'd all agree, we ended up with a successful project. We've got nice trees, we've got lighting. When you look at the before pictures where we had sporadic lighting, we had the overgrown ficus trees, we had uplifted sidewalk all over the place. It's just a really good picture of before and after, and one I'm really proud to be associated with. And again, I want to thank the city for the opportunity to be involved in the project and for all the support we got. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt, and City Council for supporting this effort. It's a long time coming. Suzanne didn't mention it, but this was a topic of conversation in 2008 when I was first here. So we got through the economic crisis and we got back on track with this project, and we're incredibly proud of it in Public Works and all of the city staff and different departments who help. I don't think Matt stressed enough how challenging this project was. Maintaining elevations at doorways to businesses, to widening the street, to dropping the elevation in the street, to raising the elevation in the street, required just an intense amount of scrutiny. And even with that said, there were absolutely field changes that we just didn't catch on paper, but made more sense in the field. And I could walk you up and down the street and point them all out to you, but really at the end of the day, what you see is just an amazing project. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's laid out well. The trees will grow. I'd love to have another ribbon cutting ceremony in a decade when the trees have filled in and it really starts to look super spectacular again. I know we all miss the ficus trees, but some people in the audience are shaking their head no, that they do not miss the ficus trees. We miss the beauty of them, but not the destruction of them. So, but really, most importantly, I personally want to thank all of my staff for this project. It was not trivial for staff to do. We were all out here every day looking at things, talking to businesses, catching design nuances before they were installed so that they could be tweaked. Just a tremendous amount of effort of keeping the businesses involved all the time and making sure it really went as smoothly as it could go. So Floriza did an outstanding job. Nick, outstanding job. Orlando, that was the core team. And then we had amazing support from the streets departments on the weekends and after hours, and just helping out with little things that the contractor could do, but we could do faster, that would just make the project continue to fly along. And building maintenance with their support, and water came out, sewer came out. Everybody was here who participated because at the end of the day, it's still city infrastructure. And I'm glad that it went, once we got over that hiccup at the beginning, as smoothly as it did. And some of the businesses could tell you, despite the messiness of construction, we did our best to keep them informed, and they did their best to provide all the patience we needed to make it a huge success. So thank you for all of that. We're super, super proud of this project. And yeah, go ahead. You can clap. Clap for my staff. And most importantly, although the street has been active and used throughout the whole process, we would like everybody to join us in this ribbon cutting ceremony. We're going to have our picture that direction so you can face north, and I would like the entire audience to be part of that picture, if you would so indulge us.
Hey! First try, all right.